Let's talk about Bitcoin and
Let's
just finish
go back.
that up. The history of Bitcoin, I think, is important to know kind of where we are now because we can learn a little bit about it. Walk us through a brief history of Bitcoin. I think it's at $750 today. It's had a nice run this year. Tell us why that matters. And second of all, I want to quote you one time. I think you said this at a Wired Money conference maybe this year or last year, where you said, Bitcoin, it's not slow jazz, it's punk rock, deal with it. As in, it's something that is, I guess, maybe emerging and new that we're not as familiar, or maybe you can explain exactly what you meant by that.
Well, that was a reference to the banks that are trying to sort of smooth the rough edges off Bitcoin and repackage it as the blockchain. So, Bitcoin is open, borderless, neutral, censorship-resistant, international money that is not subject to banks and governments. And what the banks want is they take one component of that, which is the blockchain technology, and they say, great, can we take this and turn it into a system that is not open, not borderless, not global, not neutral, not censorship-resistant, and completely controlled by banks? No, you can't. And what you want to do is bring in the creative. It's like when they try to do innovation, right? They bring in the creative genius and they say, we love your ideas. We love how independent and creative you are now. Cut off the ponytail, shave, take off the leather jacket, put on a suit, sit in front of our board, and compromise until you're an empty shell. and then they ask, why is innovation failing within our company? Why? Because you kill it the moment it walks through the door. And this is the same thing with Bitcoin. They want Bitcoin for all of the things, except for all of the things that it is. Right? They want blockchain as long as it doesn't do any of the things that the Bitcoin blockchain does, which is empower individuals to get free of the control of banks. And so it's ironic. And that was the essence of my message. Now, in terms of the price and the history of Bitcoin, I think it's really important to not focus on the price itself. The price is important in that it determines the amount of liquidity, the amount of economic activity and investment. Sure, absolutely. And I see a very clear correlation. Every time the price goes up, I sell books, I sell conference engagements, I get more hits on YouTube, all my metrics go up, right? So in some ways, I get kind of whiplashed back and forth because of the price. But the really interesting history of Bitcoin is in the development of the technology. As a technology, Bitcoin has been going through this growth phase very similar to where the internet was in the early 90s. So the core technology maturing, getting more and more robust, getting more and more secure, every attack strengthening the system, recovering from attacks, and then getting stronger and more immune to the next attack. And that cycle repeating over 8 years. Something astonishing is happening here. You have a
what the London Real Investment Club actually does for you. It gives you the keys to open that door to the inside deals. In the last 3 weeks, I've participated in 3 incredible deals: a layer 2 Bitcoin protocol, an incredible AI protocol. The deal flow is beyond what I expected. I don't think I've ever seen a model like this that just gives average folks the opportunity to be behind the deals, and that's exactly what we've done. Not only that, you get to hang out with Brian Rose every week. And for me, that was huge because I look at Brian as somebody who's not only an expert in the space, and I think is on the leading edge, but just the leading edge of thought with London Real and the work he's doing there. To anyone who's taking a serious look at this, I know it's a big decision. It was a big decision for me and my family, and it is one of the best decisions I've ever made. So I wish you all the best and hope you come join us.
Global currency that is not only worth $12 billion in total market now, but has been creating economic activity every 10 minutes, which is the heartbeat of Bitcoin, the blockchain. Every 10 minutes, it has been beating for 8 years nonstop, has not gone down ever in 8 years, has not been stopped in 8 years, and just continues this relentless beat forward. At the same time, the technology itself is evolving so fast. There was recently a developer conference in Milan, and the number of just groundbreaking, disruptive, revolutionary ideas that were presented for the first time. These won't actually reach the end users of Bitcoin for about 2 years. We're now seeing the things that were invented in 2014 are just now hitting the market.
Okay. And the new stuff is impressive.
And it's every 3 months, I am just blown away by some idea that is completely out of this world. Now we're seeing some of the scalability, the early scalability issues being addressed. So if you think of Bitcoin as a network technology, right? It's in a process of permanently failing to scale, just like the internet. So the internet was not quite fast enough to do everybody's email, and then it was. And as soon as it was, people started sending attachments to each other, and then it was like, oh, groaning under the pressure. It can't do all of the attachments, then it can, so people start doing phone calls over the internet, and then it starts groaning again. And this process of constantly failing, because as soon as there's more capacity, people say, oh, wow, hey, now we can do HD video. We couldn't do HD video before. Now we can do 3D video. Now we can do 3D HD holographic video, whatever. There's always a new application. And so the applications always expand to fill the available capacity. And then it starts groaning again for a while, and people optimize it and improve it.
Okay.
And expand the scale. Bitcoin has been going through that same growth process.
What were some of these moments in Bitcoin where it kind of got through that growth spurt?
We're actually living through one of those right now.
Is this the size of the block?
Yes, the block size.
Block size.
Yeah, it's been a big debate ongoing now for 2 years as to how to scale Bitcoin to the next level. And during that debate, what has come out is this burst of innovation, and some of the solutions are really astonishing.
For people that don't understand that concept of the block size, can you explain it?
Well, this is just a matter of how much capacity there is for transactions within the core network itself, right? And so there are some fundamental engineering decisions, like, for example, do you make the capacity of the core network itself bigger, or do you build a layer on top of it and that increases the capacity outside of the core network? Or do you do both? And so we're now in the process of seeing what happens when you do both. There's a second layer technology called the Lightning Network, which is fascinating, which can expand the scale of the underlying system by a factor of about 1,000 or more just in its first iteration. And then we're also seeing the underlying network being expanded by a factor of 2. And both of those technologies are being deployed right now. I think we're going to, and of course, this is not something you can solve permanently, right? As soon as you solve it and create more capacity, the range of applications that you can do with this platform expands, and then you've got a problem again.
Hey, I know investing in crypto is scary. It takes a real leap of faith because there are so many scams, rug pulls, and bad actors out there. It's a dangerous business, which is why 95% of people lose all their money. Well, that's why I created the London Real Investment Club, so you can access the hottest deals on the planet and use the crypto bull market to create the generational wealth that you deserve. Join my team of over 100 people from around the world that are making millions of dollars behind the scenes investing in blockchain, AI, Web3 games, DeFi, Bitcoin, and more. Don't miss out. Click the link below to book a call with one of my team now. But hurry, this bull market will end soon.
I know investing in crypto can be scary. That's why you gotta join the investment club. Pull the trigger. Let's do this.